everybody. Welcome back to the Bay Bolts channel. The Lightning have won their third consecutive game, a 5-1 victory against the Detroit Red Wings. My name is Michael Wax for another episode of Quick Strike here with my co-host Jake Ricker. Jake, a pretty good game all around. How you doing tonight?
Michael, play all night, baby. I'm doing good. I always, with a Lightning win, it's always feel good to stay in that win column and beating up on a familiar foe that we've had over the years. So it was a great game today. Bolts played really well. Lots of positives to talk about in this game.
Lots of positives indeed. I think the one thing that the Lightning sort of knew, the Lightning fan base, when they got their schedule, was that we have Detroit again. So things are a little bit easier when it comes to the games against Detroit. I said in our season preview that I thought they would be better than they were last year. This season has shown that that is not the case, and that they are somehow worse than last year. But I digress. I digress. We're going through a little bit of a global pandemic right now. They've had some COVID problems, all that stuff. But overall, in this game, I thought the Lightning did a really good job, especially controlling play the majority of the game. It really felt like these two teams were in classes of themselves. And it wasn't that the Lightning played spectacular. They did put up 5 goals, but they really dictated play the entire way through. They didn't let Detroit get sustained offensive pressure. And the only goal that Detroit got was off of a pretty bad turnover. But, there's no way Andre Vasilevsky is stopping that.
No, and what was really impressive to me was that first period the Bolts played. They looked absolutely fantastic there. In the beginning, they had, I believe, 3 goals on just 5 shots to Detroit's 0. So they got off to a amazing start. People talk about that all the time, is getting off to a good start, getting that confidence rolling, and they kept that all the way through this game. They really did. They did a very, very good job. They looked fantastic today. There's just so many positives. I can't even think of them off the top of my head because the game was so well played. Even going into the second period, even though they didn't score as many goals they did say in the first, they still played very well as well. And then even going into the third period, we talked about, Michael, on the show, is how the Lightning have struggled in that third period. They kind of let their foot off the gas and team get to climb back into it. I don't think the Lightning were perfect in the third period, but they definitely were a lot better than they were against those 2 games against Nashville. Obviously, did not let up any more goals in the third period, which is always a good thing. But I did think, they obviously kind of took their foot off the gas a little bit, but that's what you do when you're up 4 goals as well. So
Overall, a really good game all around. I think we want to do things a little bit differently in this game because there's not really positives and negatives to go through. But Jake, if there's one thing that you really enjoyed from this game, whether it was a play or a player, who or what was that play, that player, because we saw a lot of really, really good plays offensively, defensively. Andre Vasilevsky did make a really nice save on Val Filppula on a breakaway. What did you like? What did you think was the best play from the Lightning's game?
that's a good question. And you know what? I'm going to go with the Alex Killorn tip-in goal. I enjoyed that one a lot because of the friendly banter they had of Killorn and Gord had going on, arguing who actually got the goal. Gord was pretty sure he had it, even though it was actually Killorn who tipped it in. Both Dave Randorf and Brian pointed that out on the broadcast, which was pretty entertaining. So from when you're up 5 goals, things you start to have a little bit of extra fun. Now you got to be careful with that because you don't want to have too much fun and let teams slip back into it, which the Lightning did not. But I thought that was pretty fun to watch, and it's good to see the guys having a good time out there and enjoying themselves.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go with the Lightning's third goal. 3 goals on 5 shots. I thought that Barclay Goodrow and Blake Coleman made an incredible play. Blake Coleman with a really, really nice pass. There was really no defenseman next to Ryan McDonough or in front of Ryan McDonough trying to get to the net. Taking advantage of, they got rewarded for it. McDonough with a beautiful bar in shot, a post and in. Just a really, really solid play from him. They mentioned, whether it was fan comments or the broadcast themselves, that McDonough is back in college and it's not that bad for a college student. Not a bad shot indeed. He played a really good game. I thought it was capitalized by that goal. Overall, that was my play of the game.
And for those of you who may not know, by the way, the reason of the jokes with Ryan McDonough in college is because someone posted on Twitter is that Ryan McDonough was making one of those classic, if you've ever done a discussion post before, he made one of those introduction in one of his classes. So, and it was put on Twitter, which was pretty entertaining because when you are a defenseman that's making tons of money in the NHL and scoring tons of goals doesn't seem like something you'd be doing often. But Ryan McDonough played a great game. A lot of guys played a great game. One thing I will say, Michael, is that the power play, obviously, anytime you do not score a goal on the power play, that's never a good thing. Power play is still trying to find their way without Nikita Kucherov. It's still taking a hit. I think it's getting better slowly over time here. It looks like it's slowly improving, but something that still needs to be worked on and can definitely be improved upon is that power play.
Yeah, I really wanted to get into the negatives, and you hit it right on the head. The power play was really the only negative from this game, I thought, and it was a pretty big negative. We look at the previous power plays in previous games, you see them going 1 for 4, 2 for 4, 2 for 3, something like that. They've had the numbers, but you watch them on the ice, and they're just not right. And I think that's because Nikita Kucherov isn't there. And I think it was during the third power play, I was wondering to myself, I saw Braden Point where Nikita Kucherov really was, where Nikita Kucherov was last year. And I go, I really miss Nikita Kucherov at that spot. Point is great, a great player, don't get me wrong. But Kucherov adds that other dynamic where you can put Braden Point down below and you can get more pucks on net because they have more people to worry about with Nikita Kucherov in the lineup. And, it's killing Nikita Kucherov not to be in the lineup. He's still recovering from his hip surgery. It's just a really, really strange power play unit right now. I know the numbers suggest that everything might be fine, but if you watch it, it's really not.
And it's going to take some time. It's just like we saw when Stamkos wasn't with the team and was out for that power play. The power play took almost a series and a half really to get going until it found its groove. So the same thing is going to happen, again here with the Bolts. Who knows how long it'll take for them to eventually find that groove. I believe they will. And luckily, it isn't all bad. The Lightning do have some success on the power play. They do get some good looks occasionally and have scored goals as well. Not tonight, though, unfortunately. And to continue on Nikita Kucherov as well, he's been with the team, Cooper said, and he's been an awesome leader for them. I'm sure you're absolutely right. It's killing him. He wants to get back on the ice there. And I'm sure when he does come back, either at the very end of the regular season or in the playoffs, he's going to be ready to go. And he's going to be a huge boost for this team. That's going to be dangerous, whoever ends up playing the Lightning in the first round.
Yeah, I do think getting Nikita Kucherov back is going to be huge for this team, whether it is defensively, offensively, power play. Something that we have seen going to the other end of the spectrum that I thought was a huge positive in this game. No, Detroit's power play isn't the best thing in the world, but that penalty kill was really, really solid. And I think that really adds to the dynamic of the fact that you have so many units that you can roll out shorthanded, whether that is Gordon Goudreau, Gord Goudreau Coleman, Joseph, Killorn, Sorelli. There's so many forwards that you can put out there that can kill penalties. And that's just, another added wrinkle to what the Lightning are capable of, even down a man. They had tons of scoring chances shorthanded.
Penalty kill has always been really good for the Lightning over the last couple of years. It's been one of their strong suits, I think, and it's really good again this year. And I'd love to hear too from the fans what they think about the penalty kill and the power play. What do you think needs to be done to potentially boost that up? But yeah, both penalty kill looks great. Power play needs some work, but I have full faith. This team obviously played a great game tonight. And speaking of Killorn and Johnson and Gord, that Killorn and Gord line specifically was very good tonight. They played an excellent game. I believe 2 out of the 3 on that line had a goal tonight. They all had assists in there as well. So they played a very good game today. And Killorn hasn't been at the forefront for much of this season, but today he was.
He was indeed. Him, Johnson. I thought those two guys who catch a lot of flack had really good games. Just a solid overall game. And I think that we're going to make this video a little bit shorter because there's really not that much to talk about.
It
Jake,
really isn't, which is a good
yeah,
thing. I mean, I hope we could do that more often.
Yeah, I really hope so too. I hope the Lightning can go the rest of the season. We're just making 7 to 10 minute videos. But Jake, do you have anything else positive or negative from this game?
No, I think that pretty much sums it up. Like we said, it was a great game overall, and I'm looking forward to the next game as well against Detroit. We're going to have to wear a reverse retro jersey, so I'll be sure to be breaking those out on the post game recap. Should be a fun one to see those guys rocking those old jerseys.
Well, you have your jersey. I do not. So I'll be sticking with the normal home jersey or the old alternate. But guys, that'll do it for us on this edition of Quick Strike. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe and ring that bell for more notifications. Comment down below what you thought of this video, what you thought of this game. What did you like? What did you not like? And we should have plugged this earlier. Guys, we just did an interview with Lightning play-by-play announcer Dave Randorf. So that'll be up in the top right hand corner, I think. Right hand corner, right hand
Top
corner.
right hand corner.
Watch that video if you have to. Watch it in spurts. It is a long video, and we're appreciative of anyone that watches it for any amount of time. The Lightning will be back in action on Friday, February 5th at 7 p.m. once again against the Detroit Red Wings. Make sure to follow us on social media. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at Bay_Bolt for all your news, notes, and game recaps. For Jake Ricker, my name is Michael Wax. Guys, thanks so much for watching. And the Tampa Bay Lightning are your defending Stanley Cup champions.
Go Bolts.